Hey, everybody.
Hey.
Welcome to Ranger Games. I'm with my man,
Joel.
and this is
Jim.
We are at a show. We're at a show, and we're also showing you today another conversation with veterans. And if you are a veteran, if you have a family member who's a veteran, if you are have a heart for veterans, this show is for you. You're gonna laugh, you're gonna love it, and we're gonna definitely get started right now, guys.
You know the funny part is, I know I fixed that stupid white thing there.
What was that?
Heaters are on, guys.
Oh, the heaters are on too. Guys, it's getting hot in her. So we're going to need to turn it off somehow. And now it's off. Okay.
I might be one more on.
Jim, man, I see that you have some stuff here.
Oh, no. We went 90% electronic this time.
What you did.
This is my 10% contribution
Get out.
to the 20th century.
Is this an iPhone?
You know what's funny?
Oh, of course it is.
I respect your service.
I printed
Sorry, bro.
things out for this, and I left them in the house.
Are you serious?
See?
But you know what?
21st century.
Veterans always have something to talk about. Come on now, guys.
But you know what? But I'm also the type of guy that's got it back up somewhere.
There you go.
Anyway, so today we're talking about Jeremy Loveless, by the way, who a cicada local, who gave his life in service of his country in Iraq in 2006.
Yes.
It was Memorial Day 2006.
Yep.
He was actually. You know, why don't you talk about the story there, Jim?
Okay. I just want to let everyone know we did some research, Tony, Joel, myself, and I came upon under Oregon laws 2017, I came to the Senate Concurrent Resolution number 19. And I'll just peruse over it here. Whereas Corporal Jeremy Michael Loveless was born June 27, 1980, to Connie and Michael Loveless in Albany, Oregon. Whereas Corporal Jeremy Loveless was raised in Gresham in 1998, graduated from Gresham High School where he played varsity soccer. Whereas Jeremy Loveless married Melissa Ann Bailey in July 2000. They had a daughter, Chloe, who was 4 years of age at the time of her father's death. Whereas Corporal Loveless volunteered for the Estacada Fire Department as well as Clackamas County Sheriff's Search and Rescue Team and aspired to become a professional first responder. Whereas Corporal Jeremy Loveless enlisted in the United States Army in October 2004 and served as a combat medic assigned to 2nd Battalion, 1st Infantry Regiment, 170 Stryker Brigade combat team, which was based in Fort Wainwright in Alaska. Corporal Jeremy Loveless was deployed to Iraq in August 2005 for a one-year tour in support of Operation Iraqi Freedom. Jeremy Loveless proved his worth as a combat medic, and soldiers in his 10 platoons with which he served were always glad when he rode with them, as he knew he cared deeply about protecting their lives. He was killed on Memorial Day, May 29, 2006, Joel mentioned, when he was shot by enemy small arms fired during combat operations in Mosul, Iraq. Whereas at the time of his death, Corporal Loveless was riding outside his Stryker vehicle in a dangerous position he often volunteered to take, one in which a medic would not normally be found during a mission. But provided a better view as a lookout and offered him the opportunity to toss candy to Iraqi children as he passed by on patrol. He loved his family, his volunteer work with the fire department, search and rescue team, target shooting, video games, avid outdoorsman who enjoyed bicycling, backpacking, and rock climbing. He was described as a warm and open man who was generally here to help others. Let's see. So in 2017, they dedicated in front of our main fire station here in Estacada. It's located and was renamed in honor of Corporal Jeremy M. Loveless in his honor. Survived by his wife, Melissa, his daughter, Chloe, his parents, Michael and Connie, his brothers, Nicholas and Brandon. And it just goes on, and it says, be it resolved by the Legislative Assembly of the State of Oregon, which honored all of them in June 9, 2017.
Yeah, the key thing that was mentioned there was how he was riding, and a striker. A striker is a vehicle. It's kind of long. It's
long.
Yeah, it's long. It's got 8 wheels, and it's used to carry usually lots of troops and things. And they're like, probably about 8 troops, 10 troops, something like that.
10, I think, yeah.
Anyways, yeah. So a striker is basically it's something you couldn't use much in Afghanistan because of the rocky terrain, but worked well in Iraq. No, I wasn't in Iraq, so I don't know much about that area, but I do know about the strikers a little bit because we trained on them for medics and stuff. Cause we trained a lot of vehicles and how to load people in and things. And I was a medic in Afghanistan. So anyways, but in the kind of forward part of the striker, just back behind where the drivers would be, there is a hatch that goes up to the top where you can stick your gunner at. That's where Jeremy was standing. He was sitting in the gunner position. It's not normal for a medic to be in a gunner position because technically medics they have certain Geneva Conventions abilities where technically if someone was following the Geneva Conventions, they're not supposed to kill the medics. That you're not supposed to. In Afghanistan, there's a $25,000 price tag for medics. So that's why you couldn't wear usually you wear Red Cross, things like that. You can't do that in Afghanistan. Anyways, so it's not normally for a medic to be sitting in a gunner position because your weapon you carry is for your own defense and the defense of your patients that you're treating. So it's not meant to be an assault. But the reality of it is, the real situation is all medics take an assault position. They always jump up to do that. In our unit, medics were some of the best shots in the unit. So we couldn't be officially designated marksmen, but we were the unofficial designated
Did it just happen that way?
It just happened to be we were his better shots, I guess. I don't know. Yeah. Until the Georgia boys came in, they could shoot the nuts off a squirrel from 1,000 yards.
The Georgia boys.
Anyways, so
I was going to say Kentucky, but
no, it was the Georgia guys. Those guys were nuts. They're also nuts too, man. They got in a lot of trouble there too. They always found somehow they could pull alcohol out of their ass somewhere. I don't know where. They always found alcohol.
That's that moonshine.
I don't know what they did. Maybe they're making moonshine in their ass. I have no idea. They pull alcohol out everywhere. I don't know where they get it from. It's hard for me to read people's comments. We also honored him with a brick on the wall of the Estacada Veterans Memorial.
Thank you, John.
Yeah, I fixed that, so we should have been able to see that, but it didn't apparently fix.
Yes.
Anyways, so the striker basically, he was up there, he was in the gunner's position, and you can see around you. Now, I don't know if the strikers, in 2006 was earlier part, so they may not have had some of the protections. Like nowadays, if you're sitting in the gunner's position, you actually have these kind of armored areas around you, and there's big armored windows, and you have a few slots where your weapons go out and you can fire out if you need to. It's very hard to shoot someone in there from the ground. Now, rooftop is a different story, but on a striker, I don't know if they had that on there in 2006. They probably didn't. They probably didn't have as many up armors because it was pretty early. So 5 years in, maybe they started seeing those around there.
Right.
But either way, if it was in an elevated position or they didn't have that, it's a pretty dangerous position to sit in. To be up there, and that's one of the most dangerous positions to be at. In any war zone, the most dangerous position to be at is outside your vehicle. That's why they made such a big deal why the MRAPs were such a big deal, because MRAPs are like the ones with the V hole, so the explosions can go out. Because if you're on the ground and you get hit with an IED, you're done. If you're in a vehicle and you get hit with an IED, you're probably hurt, but you're probably going to survive. And you're more likely to survive. But in his area, he took a bullet from small arms fire from probably a window or a crowd or something that happened.
It was a sniper.
Yeah, and sometimes there's only so much you can do. But so in service of his country. But the thing is that in the way of a medic, the medic is usually you put yourself in front of the safety of your guys. Usually a medic is the last one to eat. Medic is usually the worst one taken care of there because they always look after everybody else. They don't look after themselves, so they usually have the worst health.
Always busy
doing something. You sleep in an aid station. People come talk to Doc for medical stuff, but there's also mental stuff they want to come talk to Doc about. Sometimes they just want to come BS, and also sometimes Doc has all the good stuff, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
So So yeah, Doc is a kind of all around type of guy, and that's so being. I'm not surprised that as a good medic, if he has a good rapport to the people, that he was sitting up there doing that position. So, and I think it even says in some of the articles how he wasn't supposed to be up there.
Yes.
So, and yep.
I think the one Emily Lindstrom wrote
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, the one
pull
from
that
Fairbanks, Alaska says Army medic Jeremy Loveless was not supposed to be outside the protection of his Stryker vehicle while he patrolled the volatile
up
city
top.
in Iraq. So, but yeah, so there's a lot to it, and I mean, it's people like that have paved the way for what we have, the freedoms that we have today. So.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
The article that was written in March of 2017 with the name change in front of the fire station, it says Estacada City Council has approved the application put forth by Fire Chief Bob Morrissey and Bennett Johnson of Fearless Brewing at a meeting on Monday, March 13th. And let's see. Shortly after joining Estacada Fire,
March 14th, excuse me, 2000, just recently? 2004.
No, that's when he joined.
When he joined.
Oh, so yeah, 2004.
This is,
That's
this is
a predictive-
2017 when they
2017. Okay.
Yeah.
changed the
Okay, that makes sense.
address of the street.
It's about 5 years ago.
And so he joined in February 04. His upbeat disposition was something that 13 years later still stands out to the members of the district. He was a hard worker, but he took things lightly. A division chief at Estacada Fire District. He was always happy and saw the positive side of things. Shortly after joining Estacada Fire, he determined that fire service was his calling and decided to work towards obtaining his paramedic license. A year after the fire district, he joined the U.S. Army to pay for paramedic school. That's
Wow.
cool. Wow. And then, like Joel said, he was riding the turret of a medically equipped Stryker vehicle during combat operations in Mosul.
Oh, it was an actual medic vehicle, like a medevac.
It says
dude?
medically equipped Stryker
Yeah.
vehicle.
Okay. So yeah, it was a medevac vehicle. Like you said, they trained us on them, but I never got a chance to use one of those in actual any combat situation. We use the Blackhawks in Afghanistan.
We show some of those pictures of Jeremy over there in Iraq. You get those up there with some of the children. There we go.
So there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he actually deployed with someone out of Alaska. Looked like.
Alaska, right?
Yeah. She's having a little
No,
technical.
it's okay.
Bear this, guys. There's a little bit of technical difficulty on this one here. So I need to do some serious computer work.
The American Legion, every Memorial Day, we go out and we place flags on every veteran's grave in Estacada, which is 235 veterans interred here in Estacada, going from the Civil War to present. And Jeremy's interred up in George Pioneer Cemetery, one of our older German cemeteries, way up in the George community.
Wow.
Yeah, it's never easy losing a soldier, and I remember I did a bunch of those ceremonies and
Imagine.
yeah, and actually when I was before I actually went overseas, and thinking if it was before I went overseas, it was actually was it? I don't remember if it was before or after I went over, but I actually did some ceremonies at home for fallen soldiers as well. Like when some of them were the older and they passed away, and then they got their burial rights, and some were a couple of them were home from killed overseas.
Right.
And so yeah, that I think that was I want to say that was before I went over, and then I had to do them in Afghanistan a lot. So. That just sucked.
Oh, there you
There's
go.
one.
That's at the base up in Alaska, I believe.
Okay.
232nd.
Yeah, 232nd Medical Battalion.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, the pictures aren't the best, guys.
Yeah.
So, an old guy picked him out. Don't hear me.
We just had a birthday.
Yeah, no.
It was a 2-hour special.
Yes.
Yeah, it went forever.
Come on. That's good.
But yeah, so anyways, there wasn't a ton about before he went over other than he volunteered. I was even seen to see who I think he had a. Oh, there's another one.
There's another one.
Is that that's not the back of the striker? That's an APC.
APC, right?
Yeah, it's the back of an APC. It looks like. Of course, I don't
Gator
recognize the side little side grades that they have. I don't recognize what those were.
No.
I wonder if that was just some additional armor. I have seen it on the side of the. Actually, that might have been the back of the striker. It looks like I haven't seen one opened up before.
Me neither.
Actually, that's not true. Yes, I have. It actually looked like the back of the striker, but the because I've seen the racks on the
There
side.
it is, right there. Yes, the Gator Fire.
All right, can you go back to that one? I want to see if that was the actual striker. It looked like an APC, but it might have been the back of the striker.
I'm sitting in the back, Randy.
And we trained on it before. I haven't seen one since before.
We did the land
Afghanistan.
nav on the APCs. That's what it looked like to me. But
Yeah, but
might-
the thing that got me is those side racks because they had those on the side of the striker.
Right.
We had one striker in Afghanistan and it sat there the entire time. And it actually wasn't ours. It was like the Australians or something.
there it is.
Yeah, it looks like.
Oh, yeah,
I don't see
it's
the.
not
Is it wheels or?
because of the
It's hard to see inside.
grates on each side.
Yeah, the grates were getting me, but I don't know. It looks like it's kind of. I can't see how low it is, but that looks.
It's like an engineering vehicle.
Well,
or something.
the way the back of the strike cars is at an angle somewhat. It doesn't look like it's at an angle, so it has to be an APC.
Good.
So,
Thank you.
thanks. we had to solve it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, when we were in Afghanistan, we had a bunch of Australians there, and they had a striker. They never took it out because where are you gonna take it?
Right.
You know. So everything there was a lot of it on foot or on helicopter, and then maybe around the cities. Oh, there you go.
There
There's
we
another
go.
one.
It's awesome.
One of the
It's like a
kids.
Mercury. What are those knockoff Mustangs?
I was looking at the kid and the
I
kid.
know.
You look at the car.
I'm looking at the car because she's it's like KATU.
Uh-huh.
All right.
Oh, there you go. So we every month we're trying to do one of these and give honor to the fallen soldier. So
Yeah.
but let's take a quick minute. Run to a sponsor. We have Whitney
Yeah.
Signs, and they are a great sponsor. They take care of printing up signs, local here, run by the mayor and his wife, and they do a amazing job. They printed the sign right here. So take a look at them.
Hey, we are back with Ranger Games and with my co-host who's coming back and with my other co-host who's here present talking about what we talked about in the last segment, giving honor to a veteran of our local community.
Yes.
And his name again was?
Jeremy Loveless.
Michael Loveless. So we give honor to you. Thank you for your service. And
I know what I'm doing all next week.
what are you doing all next week?
Rebuilding this entire show program.
There's always
Another
something to do.
computer,
But you know,
right?
Huh?
Another computer.
you know, but the life of
need
service is never done, is it?
Nope. Oh,
We are back.
our computer's having lots of issues today. Apparently on this program, should we apologize? Like I said, I get to sit there and rebuild and test and everything over the next week.
There you go.
So you're a
But
medic.
This weekend.
You built
This
computers.
weekend.
This weekend, yeah,
Your
that's my life this weekend.
Weekend.
If you choose to accept it.
Don't
Yes.
worry, you're gonna come help me.
Oh,
I need a test dummy.
On
I need a
button.
partner.
On button.
and off button.
That's right.
All you need to know.
That's it.
So Jeremy, he gave his life in service to the country, like so many others. No more pictures. Pictures are broken.
It's okay.
Sorry, guys, no more pictures. But so let's get back in there. I'm a little distracted by that. Anyway, so the key thing I think we're talking about, and what I've read and most everything else, is that he was the son of Mike and Connie Loveless of Gresham.
Yep.
Was based at Fort Wainwright near Fairbanks, Alaska. Shipped out August to Iraq and completed his training. And to Iraq after completing his training. He came home to Oregon for 2 weeks at Thanksgiving.
Yep.
2 weeks at 2 weeks of Thanksgiving?
2 weeks. Wow.
2 weeks.
I got-
Is that pretty?
I got like a week
is that
That's a long time.
That's a long time.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, that's his leave. Loveless also trained medics in Iraqi army and wrote that he most often treated injured Iraqis, not Americans. Yep, I can contest to that by saying 70% of people I treated were the local nationals. He had been unscathed by a number of roadside bomb attacks and explosions. He wrote that he didn't feel like he was in any danger even when he was hunkered down next to a wall treating wounded Iraqis in the middle of a firefight. And this is a quote from him, I kind of tune out the firefights and just look for the medical stuff to do. Loveless wrote in an April 17th email. So, my notes aren't going down any
That
further.
was from the Oregon at War.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot on there. You can actually Google Jeremy Loveless and find a lot about him. And I really recommend you do. Give him the honor that he deserves.
Yeah.
He left behind him his wife and a 4-year-old daughter, Chloe. Now that was back in 2016, so it's been 16 years. So she's 20 these days.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, I bet you Chloe would love to see her father honored for his sacrifice.
It's just great. All the fallenheroesmemorial.com. It's just amazing all the things that people put on here.
Yeah.
The messages and
Here's something exciting, guys. For Ranger Games, we're actually going to be building a special website for Ranger Games. And some of the other shows, we're going to be going through the work of getting its own Facebook soon. It's going to be getting its own website and its own Instagram. Yeah, it's gonna,
Instacart. What's that?
I don't know.
Isn't
Instacart.
that Freddy's?
They have an
something, I don't
Instacart
know.
for Freddy's too. So you can have your own veterans Instacart.
Insta Twitter or something like that.
Twitter. There you go.
No, it's going to be getting all that type of stuff. And then
Nice.
one of the things we're going to put on the website that will kind of do some magic and interlink it together with all that voodoo out there is that we're going to basically put a wall of fallen heroes, I think is what we talked about,
Absolutely.
on there. And so we're going to put that up on there. And there's some other cool stuff we're going to put on and link some things together and make a pretty cool website for
Absolutely.
honoring the heroes, but also having our shows on there and everything. And then we'll be doing we're gonna start pushing YouTube a little bit more too. So there's some stuff on YouTube.
Like, share, and
We have
subscribe.
Veterans Day coming up
We
too.
have Veterans Day coming up,
Yeah.
and
A
so
parade.
Uh-huh.
American Legion breakfast. At
Yes.
Oddfellows.
At the Oddfellows.
yep,
Yeah.
I'll be there.
And
Got-
also
got-
parade ceremony down at the memorial.
11 o'clock. I
11
believe,
o'clock, yep.
At the memorial.
11 o'clock at it's November 11th at 11 o'clock
At 11 a.m.
at 11 a.m. Yeah,
Every year.
11th month, 11th day, 11 a.m.
that one.
That's what she said. That's what she said.
That's literally what she said.
I'm just trying to read Jack's.
It says it depends on the war they served in too. My FIL and many others are buried in the Korean War section.
Sarah had asked if you guys it's determined where you're buried based on your service or if you pick that out.
Good question.
Let's see. I think you can choose. The family can choose.
family can
if you have
choose.
something left where you want to be buried.
And you can apply for a headstone through the VA. Some veterans' families have a regular headstone, and you don't always see when you walk in a cemetery. You can walk right by a veteran, not even know that they served without research. So it's basically, you don't have to be at Willamette National. I mean, we have Civil War headstones from the VA back then.
So someone asked also if you guys know where you would like to be buried.
Oh, that's a personal question. But you're much closer than I am, Jim.
Let's see. Willamette
Mic
National
drop.
would be at the top, top of the list.
Where at?
Joel,
Where did you say?
Willamette National.
Honestly, I really don't know. I mean, that'd be kind of cool. Willamette National. You know, I guess it just depends. I mean, I'm good with just digging a hole in the backyard and get rid of me. You know.
No, but that's just the way you are. But
honestly, it really isn't about me when I'm gone. Really, I'm gone. It doesn't matter. You really.
Right.
If I'm being buried, hopefully I'm gone to that point.
But people want to
don't get
remember.
any ideas.
don't.
People want to honor your service and remember your service.
Yeah. So how would we do that?
It's really up to people that are here that want to do it. I mean, I'm dead and gone. I'm dancing with Jesus. So
Coffee
at that
can
point, if you want
on
to
the mantle.
that works for you. If it's up to you guys.
Hey.
You guys, we just want to honor my service, all type of stuff. I put me in a coffee can and slap a flag on it. We're good to go. I don't really care. It's up to you guys.
You know me better than that.
Oh yeah, trash can.
There's going to be a lot of people with that one, Joel.
Oh my goodness!
What?
It would be with full honors.
That's your service.
It would be with full honors for sure.
Yeah, I'm good if I just get the preacher to show up. No, but yeah, honestly, I don't. It doesn't really matter to me. I'm not around, so at that point. What do you think? What do you think, there, Tony?
Huh?
What do you think? Where do you want to be buried?
The mic is on there.
Oh, Micah.
I'll read Micah. You answer the question.
Okay. So I would love to have my ashes spread over Alaska. That's the place.
Over Alaska?
As a matter of fact, in Anchorage, over Elmendorf. Even though I'm
Why is
not
that?
in the military, because I have a lot of my relatives who have been stationed in Elmendorf Air Force Base.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. So, what do you call one of those things? A grenade launcher in the air.
Like a Trailblazer games
Dunk.
with a T-shirt.
Good to go. Micah says most of the time you get to choose.
Most
He
time
also
you did.
says Willamette National also.
Oh, for Micah?
Well, I think that's what he said, yeah.
Yeah, most of the time, yes.
I'm trying to read those. You guys, I thought I
Sarah.
put that as black down there, and it apparently
His name was Charles Horton III.
Yes, that was my. That's Sarah's dad. That used to be my ex-stepdad.
She's she's telling people what his name so that they can visit him since she's far away.
Oh yeah,
And Mike has just said Willamette National also.
Yep. And then Brandy
Good Lord, Joel. Trash can.
notate what
Did he say it?
Tony just said. Notate what he just said. Okay. About where you want to be.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah.
When you know what? Worst case scenario, trash can and a coffee can.
Hey, I'll be dancing with Jesus like you said, too.
That's basically where we're gonna go. But you get to choose, and honestly, it's in the end, it's I don't know about you, but I don't want to be a burden to the people behind me. I got the life insurance, so they can be out partying. I'm gonna be partying somewhere.
Come on.
So-
Come on.
Hey, any other questions you guys got on there? What do you got? Good little Joel trash can.
Who said that?
Jack.
Jack.
Yep. So let's see what else we got on here. But yeah, so good stuff coming for the website. You guys, we're going to be depending on you guys there actually to help us when we're going to be starting a separate Facebook specifically for Ranger games. So we'll be streaming from that in the future at some point. So we'll need you guys to switch over and start following that one. So when we do start streaming from it, there's actually people know we exist. So, and we're doing that just to kind of help spread out some of the load on and kind of give let Ranger Games expand into its own thing and become more and really get the people involved in there. So,
And it'll be a good home for veterans. As normal. Speaking of home, we have a local Estacada pizza place that you want to come visit. If you are from out of town, it's Hitch and Post Pizza. It's fun for the whole family. The best pizza there is on the West Coast. And watch this. All right, we're back, and we just heard you talk. Awesome pizza place. Whoa. Awesome pizza place that you want to join us at whenever we're down at Hitch and Post Pizza. What is how you're trying to connect veterans, and you're using a website to do that. Now, veterans, if just like anybody else, grow older and sometimes or never grow old, but sometimes it's hard for technology to be used for veterans. So how else do you get, I'm sure you hear this, so how else do you get the word out about events for veterans? How do you do that, Jim?
Hold on.
Being the head of the American League.
You don't have to say anything, Jim.
Snail mail.
I got you. What's this? With papers?
He's still using paper.
Papers, and what's the other thing you got there? And the glasses?
And the specs.
You're right behind me, man. Come on.
Yeah, we should never do away with paper because there's some
you know what? I am not far behind you.
That's
No,
right.
but do you often hear that for veterans? Often there's not accessibility for certain things.
Yeah, I mean, we have a lot of programs. We try to meet, and specifically all throughout Oregon, the mission is Be the One this year, is make sure you look out for everybody and just help that one person that might be struggling. That's from the National Commander of the American Legion. And do your buddy checks. So we have over 180 members of the post here in Estacada. And
So how do you do
that? Other fire,
Yeah.
well, I have email and I call people, but it was more extensive having to call people quickly, out on the other side of the river that we were worried about. So to get out there and call people and stay calm, how you doing? Do you need anything? Do you have power? And we're reliving 2020 again. And I don't want to, bother someone that's 20 years older than me. That I was 1 year old when they came back from Vietnam. And I always remind them that. Oh yeah, what were you doing in 1969? They're like, oh, we're coming back from our 1 year tour in Vietnam. And I was like, I was what? And they're like, come on. Like, well, I just want you guys to know how important it is, and that you guys were there, and with the PAC Act and all these other things coming out, we have a meeting tomorrow night, by the way, during Brandy's show, unfortunately. And Vietnam, Thailand, Laos, Cambodia, Johnson Atoll, and one other country, Guam, and one other country have now been added to the service. And from like 63 to 75, now we have all these other conditions, hypertension, and these long Latin names I can't pronounce. But it's important because the majority of my posts are Vietnam veterans. So that's how I get the information out. And it's important. We have the burn pit registry. We have the Camp Lejeune lawsuit from, I think it's like 1953 to 1987. But having a service officer and such a good service officer that we have in the American Legion, he's able to take care of these veterans, whether they're there for that or if they were there for a week for training. There was herbicides in the water if you were a Marine. I mean, it's what it is. And you don't know what it is, and you have hypertension, and you're in your early 70s, you probably, do have that
I
condition.
know it caused my hypertension. It caused inflation.
Yeah.
It's called the Biden White House.
That too.
Hypertension.
But yeah, I mean, we make sure that I try to send out a lot of emails, and I do call constantly and try to keep in touch with everyone because we are aging, like Joel always says. We're going to have a member of our post that's 101 that'll be there tomorrow.
Oh, really?
I've been to his 100th birthday party.
Ditto.
And
Wow.
Joel and I
Ditto?
attended his 101st.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
And it was awesome.
Yeah.
That was really
What was
cool
that for
to-
you? Yeah.
It was
World
really
War
cool
II
to
veteran.
hear
Yeah.
What was that for you?
It was a
Jim?
little kind of cool to hear him talk a little bit, his stories about him.
So he told stories while you were there?
Well, he told a little bit of the stories, but mainly people told stories about him and stuff.
Yeah.
So.
There's a question probably for Jim. They ask, why am I getting notices to apply for compensation for Lejeune?
It's because of your service there from 1953 to 1987. it's recognized now by the VA that there were herbicides used at Camp Lejeune that caused all of these conditions, 1 to 20 or whatever they are. That's why you need to see a service officer, and that can help you with that.
Make sure if you talk to a VSO, veteran
American
service-
Legion service officer.
Yeah, well, you can also American Legion is good, or
Yep.
even I'm sure there's other ones in the DAV and things
Right.
like that. Make sure you talk to an actual official, legitimate service
Right.
officer. There are
VSO.
so many places out there, like
Right.
these law firms, things like that. They just want to rip you off for that money.
Yes.
Talk to an actual.
And you don't have to be a member of the American Legion to have the American Legion VSO work for you in Portland
I think that's important.
or Medford.
Yes.
Or Lincoln City.
Yep.
It doesn't matter.
Yep. I don't know how many people, veterans, say, I'm not a part of the American Legion. Can I actually
Yep.
benefit from that?
Absolutely.
And yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually horrible when I'm part of the VFW and the American Legion,
About
and
time.
I've been to this many meetings.
But you know about what's going on in town,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, I do.
Because we talk and
Yeah,
you support.
I meet with him.
You support the programs for the oratorical, the law enforcement, the shooting, the Boy Scouts.
Well, I mean, my big thing is that I'm always involved that way, but I don't.
Right.
It's like I'm so busy. Every time I want to go to one of the meetings, like the other day, I wanted to go to a meeting,
Right.
and in Sandy for the VFW monthly meeting,
Right.
and literally last minute something came up, and yep, I missed the meeting again because I think I stayed with Riley or something. I don't remember what it was, but yeah, I mean, it's like every time I get a chance to go to a meeting, it's like something critical comes up, and one of these times I'm just gonna turn off my phone and like spend the day waiting at the place where it happens so no one can get a hold of me.
Great guy, the VFW commander. He's a member of our post here in Estacada.
Yep.
Great guy.
Yep. So, anyways, do we have anything else you want to go over, guys, before the end of the show?
Any more questions, producer?
I can't.
Nope, no more questions.
I can't read that.
Just talking to each other.
I can't read it. I swear I fixed this, but everything's going to be redone. It'll be a new
Sarah says she misses our daughter, Rai Rai.
Oh.
So, okay, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining the show.
Yes.
Last words, Tony?
Well, you know what? If as always, we want to acknowledge that our veterans have a silent battle, at least some of them, with PTSD. And if you do suffer from PTSD, you are not going to suffer in silence any longer, because you're going to make that call out to a resourcing center like the. Okay, and
We'll get you to our service officer, Ed Van Dyke, and you can communicate all that to him on the telephone.
Yeah, and speaking of that, we're going to talk about that locally. So if you are a veteran locally,
Right.
and you have PTSD, and you are really in this, especially now when it's dark, and you have seasonal affective, all that other stuff that goes on, you're going to need to reach out. And so if you're a local veteran and you have PTSD, don't hesitate to reach out to the person next to you. Jim, I would say, brother, I'm not going to give you any more to do, but
Hey,
seriously.
reach out. My phone's
He
always on.
doesn't do anything.
I know, right?
What are you talking
Just
about?
runs the city. I mean, no, Sean, don't forget to vote for mayor, by the way. But
Yeah, I want to make sure we close up the show like we did last time. This is our new tradition that when we speak about a fallen soldier,
Yeah.
we have a song we play from it at the end.
Oh,
yes.
Yes, so there should be a fallen soldier button.
So reach out. Good night.